nanosized multilayer metal composite and hydrogen gas. This is a background of and motivation of my study, of my presentation. I was involved in the research of permeation-induced transmutation with nanosized multilayer thin film. When I was a researcher of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, we use this kind of palladium calcium oxide multilayer thin film and put the cesium on top, and we make the deuterium gas permeation like this, and we observe the transmutation reaction of cesium into praseodymium like this. In this study, key factors in this study are diffusion and nanosized multilayer thin film, and also elemental analysis. And after moving to Tohoku University, I had a chance to participate in the national project, Japanese national project, NATO project, and at that time we observed excess heat, anomalous excess heat with nanosized metal composite particles. So in this case, key factors are nanosized particles and hydrogen or deuterium diffusion and heat estimation were key factors. And combining these factors, we developed a new experiment to study excess energy generation with nanosized multilayer metal composite of hydrogen gas like this. And using this new method, we larger excess energy hydrogen obtained. This figure shows the experimental method of the presentation. We use nanosized multilayer metal composite like this. Usually, mainly, we use a nickel bulk, 25 millimeter and 25 millimeter and 0.1 thickness nickel bulk. And on the bulk, we fabricate multilayer thin films, mainly using nickel and copper and other material on it. And we prepare 2 sheets of this multilayer composite. And in the center, we have a ceramic heater to heat up this nanosized multilayer metal composite. And we trigger the reaction using this heater. And this module is located in the center of the vacuum chamber here. And in the vacuum chamber, to estimate the temperature, we have some couple in here, in ceramic heater, incorporated in the ceramic heater. And also, we measure the surface temperature by infrared radiation thermometer like this. And we also measure the gamma ray emission using this NAI scintillation detector, mainly for safety reasons. We did not have any increase of gamma ray during the experiment. Okay, so this is the procedure of this experiment is here. At first, introduce a sample, fabricated sample into the chamber. And about 1 or 2 days, we bake the samples to remove the mainly water or other impurities. And after that, we introduce a hydrogen gas into the chamber, and the hydrogen gas temperature of the hydrogen gas introduction is about 250 degrees, and pressure is 230 Pascal. And about one night, hydrogen absorption ended. And after that, we evacuate the hydrogen gas and simultaneously heat up the sample up to 500 degrees or 700 degrees. And we observe the excess energy generation by this triggering. And usually, half day after, we cut off. Heater is cut off and cool down the sample. And again, we introduce hydrogen gas into the vacuum chamber again, and repeat this process again, changing the condition, input condition mainly. Okay. So this figure shows the diffusion of hydrogen through the nanoside multilayer metal composite in the present experiment. We assume that hydrogen diffusion of hydrogen is one of the key factors to induce condensed matter nuclear reactions. So this is the cross-section of multilayer metal composite. Hydrogen in the composite behaves like this. Usually, hydrogen hopping from a side to another side like this. This process is known as quantum diffusion. And diffusion of hydrogen is caused by mainly a gradient of concentration of hydrogen. In this case, we have much hydrogen here, and if we pump up the surface, gradient of concentration of hydrogen like this. And also, thermal gradient is also important for diffusion of hydrogen. This hydrogen diffusion is governed by this equation. Okay, this is a photograph of carbon-nickel multilayer thin film and the experimental setup. This is the image of STEM, scanning transmission electron microscope image. You can see that the copper and the nickel are fabricated like this. Okay. And we have a chamber, about a 10-liter chamber, vacuum chamber. And also we have a radiation thermometer, and gamma ray detector is located like this. Before experiment, we perform a blank run for calibration. Exactly the same process with bulk, nickel bulk. Instead of multilayer, nickel bulk, we perform the blank run. And we get this kind of a calibration curve. For example, if we input 10 watt to the sample, we get about 600 degrees. And if we input 20 watt, about 800 degrees centigrade. Okay. This graph shows the excess heat variation. During the experiment, we pumped up the hydrogen gas. So we should consider heat conduction and thermal radiation, only two terms. Heat conduction from the nanomaterial component to the vacuum chamber, and heat radiation, thermal radiation from the surface of the sample to the chamber. Okay, and these two these are equal into input power and excess energy if we have. Okay. And as a first step, we assume that the emissivity for the thermal radiation is the same for nickel bulk and nickel-based multilayer sinter. The second step, we will estimate emissivity by radiation thermometer detector. Okay, so I will show you 4 examples as an excess heat generation case. This one is the first one. In this case, we use